President Biden may have escaped criminal charges over his alleged mishandling of classified information, but the case has revived concerns about his age, making it a central issue in his re-election campaign. Registered Republican Special Counsel Robert Hur advised against pursuing criminal charges against the president because he was concerned a jury would not believe he willfully held on to classified documents. He wrote this in his report: "We've also considered that at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview of him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory." Now, the president used a hastily called and chaotic press conference to hit out at those claims.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president, and I put this country back on its feet. As you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate.
Well, my next guest is a psychiatrist and expert on violence. She edited the New York Times bestseller, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, which argued that the then president's mental health posed a grave threat to the country and beyond. I'm pleased to welcome Doctor Bandy Lee. Welcome, Doctor. You've written that this year's election will be a competition between an elderly president who may be showing signs of cognitive decline and an increasingly erratic, blatantly threatening, possibly psychotic and definitely personality-disturbed former president. Starting with the current president, just talk us through how you reach those conclusions.
Yes, first of all, let me clarify that there is a difference between individually diagnosing a person versus speaking about characteristics of a person, a public figure, that would be of interest to the public. And I have before, along with some of the most renowned colleagues in my field, had written about Donald Trump and the dangers he brought to the office of the presidency.
Okay, let's start with the president.
And that he was likely. Yes, the current president, I have noted that there may be signs of cognitive decline, which is normal with age. It often even starts in middle, even early adulthood. It's normal for most people. There's great variation. Almost any level of cognitive decline in the absence of a disease such as dementia is not necessarily indicative of unfitness. A lack of insight or adamant denial and an inability to delegate responsibilities could be. For these reasons, we had recommended that the president undergo a fitness test to show that he is fit, as we have recommended for all presidents and all presidential candidates, and to renew this on a yearly basis. This is a standard requirement for many important positions.
So you believe
and that's something that we still...
that change should be made and should be introduced. And do you believe that this cognitive decline, if it is indeed the case that this is happening, is this dangerous, potentially dangerous? We're talking about the President of the United States, after all.
It's not primarily dangerous. It could be dangerous as a secondary effect, but much more concerning to us is the direct dangerousness that the former president poses, and that there's no comparison between the two is what I tried to assert in a recent article that I wrote, which I think you quoted, and also that it is about time that we discuss presidential fitness as a standard requirement that the public would be willing to require of those we employ into the office of the presidency, simply because it is the most important office in the land. All military officers are required to undergo a fitness test before they assume their posts, and those who handle nuclear weapons are required to undergo rigorous psychological testing and to renew it every year. But the person who commands those weapons is not. And there needs to be a public discussion If there were some kind of standard screen, then that would eliminate many of these concerns that we currently have of both candidates.
Right. And so your concern would be about, and you seem to be quite specific, about fitness rather than age. So everyone, regardless of age, who wanted to become president, you would have undergo these tests, yes?
Absolutely, because the most dangerous conditions are actually not cognitive. Cognitive conditions may be the most dramatically noticeable in public, but they are not the most dangerous and not the most serious. And dangerousness has no age.
A word then about the former president, Donald Trump. In your book, you warned that he would unleash violence on the United States. Some would say your prediction was proved right by the events of the January 6th Capitol attack. You're making another bid for the White House. Are you worried?
Yes, indeed. Because since our book, we actually did a fitness test of the former president, and he failed every criterion. And so we know that he is unfit. The database on which we made that assessment was the Mueller report, and we convened a panel of the top mental health experts in the country to do a fitness evaluation of him, and he actually failed. He not only failed to be fit for president, he failed it for just about any job. And so that is very concerning, that such a person would still be running for another bid of the presidency.
OK. Thank you so much for talking us through that, Dr. Bandy Lee. Thank you.
Thank you very much.